The first trailer for Star Trek Starfleet Academy has just been unveiled at San Diego Comic-Con. This is the next live-action Star Trek series, set within the 32nd century, and it follows the first class of cadets to attend Starfleet Academy in over 120 years. Seems interesting, right? We've got a lot to break down in this trailer. It's our first look. Let's not waste any time and dive into it. Welcome to Trek Central. I'm your host, Captain Jack. If you want to keep up to date on the latest Star Trek news, lore and more, then make sure to hit that subscribe button to never miss a video from the team here at Trek Central. You can also follow us on social media for daily updates on the Star Trek universe. If you've enjoyed our coverage of San Diego Comic-Con, why not help us make these videos? If you want to support the development, please join our Patreon via the link below. You'll get exclusive access to videos and events, and also we're running a limited time deal where you get an exclusive Trek Central pin if you join, I think before the end of July. Make it so. As always, please let us know your thoughts and feedback about this video and also what you think of Starfleet Academy in the comment section below. If you're talking Star Trek, we want to hear about it. Let's waste no time. Engage. Let's break down the trailer of Starfleet Academy. If you want to watch the trailer, use the link in our video description. Unfortunately, we can't play it during this video due to copyright reasons. It's annoying, I know, but we've uploaded it to our website. You can go and watch it there. Okay, now you've watched the trailer, we open on a couple of beautiful establishing shots of San Francisco in the 32nd century. It's giving us a glimpse of the show's setting. Even the city's nightlife looks interesting. There's a port where the Academy cadets likely arrive. In the background, we can see a sign that says Quark, kind of implying that the legendary bar from Deep Space Nine lasts into the next millennium. Setting a Star Trek series mostly on Earth sets Academy apart, so it would be nice to explore what life on Earth is like after the Academy's been rebuilt more than a century later. Maybe we will get some Earth episodes where they go out and explore San Francisco. We then cut to a Starship bridge. Presumably this is the USS Athena. Although knowing this is an Academy series, it could also be some sort of training simulator. I mean, we've seen that in the past through the Kobayashi Maru. This is where we got our first look at Captain Nala Aki, played by Holly Hunter. She's also the Academy Chancellor and was originally announced as the lead character of the series. So we'll definitely be seeing a lot more of her as the series starts and runs. Speaking of a bridge of the Athena, and we'll talk more about the Starship later on in this video, as we need to, the set used might be the former bridge of the USS Enterprise as seen in Star Trek Discovery Season 2. If you notice, the bridge of the Enterprise in Strange New Worlds is totally different and changed from how we saw at the end of Discovery Season 2. The doors to the USS Athena look very similar to the Enterprise doors we see in Disco. This might be the same set, which would make a lot of sense. Captain Aki's voiceover appears to be a commencement speech she's given to the cadets. She notes it's the first class to come through since the Academy's reopening. Also floating around the place are a few Dot 23 robots returning from later seasons of Star Trek Discovery. Along the walls, we can all see that Academy's locations are named after iconic Star Trek characters, starting with James T. Kirk, and it's basically like a pavilion dedicated to him, hopefully no metal bridges around. Adorning the next few shots, we get glimpses of the main Academy cadets we'll be following through the series. There's nothing that's particularly exciting, just them attending classes, partying and walking down hallways. It feels very teen drama-ish, but that's kind of the idea of the series. The camera then pans to a group of cadets standing in front of a wall of names. We can assume that this wall highlights important figures throughout Starfleet's history. There are names listed we would expect to see on here, such as iconic TOS characters like Scotty and Bones. We also get a glimpse of how far other characters across the franchise have climbed through the ranks since we last saw them. We learn that Beverly Crusher becomes an admiral, which on hindsight we actually see at the end of Star Trek Picard Season 3. Oshi Sato reaches Lieutenant Commander. We don't see that in Enterprise, but it's shown on the screen in A Mirror Darkly. Samantha Wildman becomes a commander, 709 remains captain, and can you believe it, Harry Kim at some point managed to escape purgatory as an ensign and reaches admiral. Who would have expected that? We also learn that, disappointingly, some characters don't progress much, if at all. Tom Paris and Julian Bashir don't exceed the rank of lieutenant. Then you have honourable mentions to Ensign Sito Jaxa and Lieutenant Tasha Yar. It's a little nostalgic, but how these names made the wall is a good question. Jax was only in one episode of Next Gen, I think, or 2 episodes, and Yar was only with us for part of Season 1 before her unfortunate death. Why do these names need to be there? Then there's the interesting nod to an extended canon novel. Demora Sulu, daughter of a certain iconic TOS helmsman of the same surname. She's actually an ensign when we first meet her at the helm of the Enterprise B in the Next Generation movie Star Trek Generations. She's listed on the wall as captain. It's a nice nod to the novel, The Lost Era, Serpents Among the Ruins. This is where Captain Harriman, yes that one, relinquishes command of the Enterprise B and she assumes command. It also appears that some previous Star Trek cast and crew members have been added to the wall, including Tawny Newsome and the legendary Jonathan Frakes. We've seen Star Trek shows recognize people this way in the past, but never so obvious and in your face. Usually it's on like a dedication plaque in the background and you've got to zoom in to see it. I've also got to say, the one problem with this wall is if we're saying that Bashir is a lieutenant, that means they never move past that rank in Starfleet history, which does sort of complicate things a little bit, because if we ever want to do anything with that character, are they always going to be stuck as a lieutenant? There might be an excuse around this. Maybe they were added to this when they completed something famous, or it's like a dedication wall for their service at the time. We don't know. We're going to need to see the actual episode and work it out from there. From this trailer, it's clear Starfleet Academy will engage in the nostalgia button more than once through the first season. I mean, in a later scene, we see a cadet looking at a screen displaying the silhouette of Benjamin Sisko, titled Confronting the Unexplainable. The screen questions Sisko's fate from the end of Deep Space Nine. It looks like any chance of seeing the emissary of Apollo's return to our screens is now very slim, because it kind of says, did he die? Moving past the name wall, we see a group of cadets working outside shouting duty, honor, service, drilling in the Starfleet mantra. After that, we see the Doctor, as played by Robert Picardo, returning from Star Trek Voyager, walking onto the bridge of what we presume is the Athena. He's also seen later in the trailer, standing behind Captain Aki, along with Lua Fock, who's a Klingon and Jem'Hadar hybrid played by Gina Yashere, and also the First Officer Cadet Master. We'll see Admiral Vance, who we love, returning from Star Trek Discovery. The next few shots feature the main cadets getting a little closer with one another, with one couple holding hands and another getting closer to one another with what looks to be a privacy window activated. So it does look like we're heading into some Academy romances, kind of emphasizing the show's teen drama elements, and that's to be expected. There are shots of this later on, with them dancing, partying in Starfleet style varsity jackets. Although there's not much that actually gives us much of an impression of who these people are and what they are as characters of their own, hopefully we learn more of that as we get closer to Academy's release in 2026. Moving on from the teen drama, the trailer starts to emphasize the show's action plot. While it could be a meteor shower of sorts, it also appears that it could signify an invasion or an attack from Paul Giamatti's villain character. It's followed by a shot of Tatiana Malasse's character looking up at the stars. What she's got to do with anything is unknown at the moment. The final shot of the trailer gives us our first proper look at Paul Giamatti's character, who's actually a Klingon Tellarite hybrid, and he's said to have some sort of connection to one of the show's cadets. Towards the end of the trailer, we see him walking down a corridor, gun in hand, whistling the Star Trek theme. His character is called Nusbraka. So far he does seem rather menacing, but also could come across as a generic sci-fi villain. Ultimately, we'll need to wait and see what his motivations are and why he's being a pain in the backside. Going back to the Star Trek theme being whistled, whether or not this is just for the trailer, or if the Star Trek theme is going to be added to a in-song universe, is unclear. It seems like he's definitely going to launch some kind of attack on either the USS Athena or the Academy itself, creating a lot of danger for the crew. Naturally, if this is linking to one of the characters, it makes sense. Okay, you know I all love starships here on my channel. We've got to talk about the USS Athena. As mentioned, the Athena is the hero starship of Starfleet Academy. While the Academy is located at San Francisco, on Earth, the Athena also serves as a home base. It kind of allows the cadets to get first-hand experience on board a starship. The concept is really interesting, yet I find myself not really impressed with the starship design. Yes, the detached nacelle concept of the 32nd century does take some time getting used to, but this design seems far detached, see what I did there, from the signature look of the Star Trek universe. We've already seen some ships of the 32nd century in Star Trek Discovery, and I actually quite like them, especially the 32nd century Constitution class. That looked really nice. I was hoping we'd maybe get that. From a quick shot of 1 minute 25, it is possible Athena docks with something in orbit, perhaps another part of a ship. Later on, we see it flying past the Golden Gate Bridge and coming into hover over Starfleet Academy's ground location. If you look closely at the top of the saucer section, you can see a Starfleet Delta marking it. By the way, they seem to be putting deltas on everything in Starfleet Academy, the uniforms, the walls. Now as the Athena comes to hover, you can see the nacelles move out and downwards. Perhaps a different configuration for the starship when not in flight. It's an interesting concept, one that will take time getting used to. I do hope we see more conventional starship designs in the Academy series, especially as Discovery gave us some really good looking and kind of well thought out concepts in its last season. Designs that fit the 32nd century. I want to see more of them because we didn't really spend much time with them in Discovery. So that was everything we caught in the first look trailer for Starfleet Academy. The first season is set to premiere in early 2026, and no confirmed date is there yet. We'll definitely be seeing a lot more of the marketing for Academy between now and then, especially at New York Comic Con coming soon. With the second season confirmed, we'll be seeing a lot more of Academy over the next couple of years, which is going to be interesting. If you want to see our complete coverage from San Diego Comic Con, head over to the Trek Central website. And as always, if you want to keep up to date on the latest Star Trek news, lore and more, then make sure to hit that subscribe button to never miss a video from the team here at Trek Central. You can also follow us on social media or join our community Discord server. For now, I've been Captain Jack, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you very soon. Live long and prosper, my friends. Goodbye.